Hey guys, it's Edie. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Hope you're all doing well, and in today's video we're going to be doing a bookshelf scavenger hunt, choose as my next read. So if you haven't seen one of these videos before, I got the idea from Ellen Catherine. I know she got it from somewhere else, but I'll also put on the screen links to the other videos that I've done on this. I want to say this is my fourth one I've done. So basically what it is, there's like a list of questions. Let me see where they are on my phone. I have them somewhere in my folder that has all book stuff in. Oh, here it is, okay. So I've got a list of questions and I'm just going to go through them and I'm going to find books that correlate with those questions. If you haven't watched one of these videos before, you'll kind of understand it as we go, because I feel like I'm not doing a good job at explaining it. And also the book that I end the last question with is the book that I'll be reading in this video. Okay, so the first question is, pick a book you gave 5 stars and then find another book that you would recommend to people who enjoyed that book. I'm going to go with A Fourth Wind by Rebecca Yarros. I gave this book 5 stars and I've annotated it so much, this book. I don't know if I'm going to be able to show you, but you can kind of see there all the annotation tabs. And it's probably one of my favourite fantasy series ever. And I've recently just read another fantasy series and it's not exactly the same, but I loved it just as much. So I'm going to get that book now. So the book I would recommend reading if you loved Fourth Wing, or the whole series in general, I would recommend reading On Wings of Blood by Bear Bolan. I don't even know if that's how you pronounce the name because I am terrible at pronouncing names, but this book basically involves dragons, vampires. It's like a, I can never say the words. They described it as a betrothed arrangement. Like, they were put together, the MMC and the FMC. The FMC I absolutely love, and basically she's told she's the last dragon rider of her kind, but there's no dragons to ride, so she's trying to basically find out where are the dragons, what happened to them, while she's also having to deal with Blake, which is the MMC, and all his shenanigans. I can never say that word as well, but yeah, I absolutely thoroughly enjoyed it. So if you're looking for a new romantasy, you should definitely pick this one up. It's on Kindle Unlimited. It's being republished, so I don't know if it's still on Kindle Unlimited at the moment, I'm not sure, but I absolutely love this series. I gave this one a 4.5 and the second book in the series of 5 stars, and the third book was going to come out this year, but now it's being republished. It's not coming out till next year, so that's kind of sad, but oh well. So the second question is, count the number of letters in the title and then pick a random spot on your shelves and count to that number book. So the number of letters in this title is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I think I'm actually going to choose start up here. Can you see that? I'm not sure, but I'm going to start with my Afterlife special editions up here. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Oh, it's got this one of these in this pile here. So the 14th book from the point I counted on from is Make the Season Bright by Ashley, Harry and Blake. Yeah, I almost said Brown, but it's Blake. And this is a Christmas romance. It's a sapphic romance, and it was part of the Afterlife subscription that came last year, but I never ended up having time to read it around Christmas time. So I'm waiting until Christmas comes around again to be able to read it. Don't really know anything else about it apart from it's a sapphic Christmas romance. The third question is, look at what is on the cover and find another book with similar elements on the cover. Okay, so you've got to look at the cover. It's got some gold writing, it's got 2 characters, it's sort of like a Christmassy vibe, so maybe another Christmas book it will have to be, I think, because I don't think there's going to be any other sort of romance book that's like this. I've chosen one, and even though it's not in the same colour palette, it gives off the same similar vibes, and it is Any Trope But You by Victoria Levine, I think that's how you pronounce it, and this was the most recent Afterlife subscription book, and I don't really know anything else about this apart from it's some sort of maybe Christmas romance, but then I'm thinking, why is it coming out so early to be a Christmas romance? So maybe it isn't a Christmas romance, but the cover, it gives off Christmas romance vibes. So it kind of has similar elements because they've both got kind of like snow on the cover, they've got 2 people on the cover. This is gold writing, but this is silver writing. Not exactly the same. It's both got sort of Christmas trees, you could say. They've got them in the background of this, so similar-ish. This is probably the closest I'm going to get. So question 4 is, reverse the page number of the book and then find a book with a similar page count. So I'm going to go to the last page, and whatever page count that is, I'm going to switch it around. Okay, where is the last page with page count? Oh god. Okay, so it's 338 right down there. I don't know if you could see that, but I've got to find a book that has like 833 pages. So let me go look at all the really big books that I have. That took me like 5 minutes to try and find one, and I've got to like 800 pages, and that's the longest book I have. The longest book I have is Keeping 13 by Chloe Walsh, and this is the second book in the Boys of Torment series, and it's Shannon and Johnny's second book, and it is, let me show you, the last page number that's on here is 802, but there's still like quite a few more pages left, so this is the closest I'm going to get to 833 pages. So the fifth question is, list some of the tropes in this book and find another book that shares some of these tropes. I'm going to find this quite hard because even though it does have tropes, it's not a very tropey book, you could say. I'm thinking, because this is like a sort of like secondary school, sort of high school romance, they're teenagers. I guess you could say they're like friends to lovers. So I have a sort of idea for what to go with. I've gone with Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter, and this is like a I don't know if they're best friends or they're friends. I think it's like a friends to lovers, and they're in like high school, and it's just them in high school basically. And that is the closest sort of thing I could get that's similar to this book, because I feel like there's not many books that are similar to this book or this series at all, really. So the sixth question is, find a book that has the same colour combination as the current book. So it's like a light blue, yellowy sort of book. So a book that has light blue or yellow on the cover. So the book I've chosen that has similar sort of colours to Better Than the Movies is Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. It's kind of the same sort of shade of blue on this bit to the text, and it does have yellow on the spine, and this is the closest sort of colour combination that I could get. So the seventh prompt is, read the first sentence and then pick any word in that sentence and find a book with that word in the title or on the cover. Okay, so the first sentence of this book is, let me read it out. Moths fluttered in my headlights over the long grass of the ditch. I think I have an idea. I think, if I'm correct, you're thinking moths is in the title or something. I might be completely wrong. I was kind of semi-right. It has moth instead of moths, but it's similar enough. It's the same word, but just different. I don't know what the S would stand for. It's like multiples, isn't it? Yeah, I'm not really sure. But I've gone with The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gallick? I don't really know. I'm terrible at pronouncing, but yeah, I haven't read this one. This is the Fairy Loot edition, and it is stunning, and I really want to read it at some point. I might do a reading vlog of reading Fairy Loot subscription books and see if it's worth it, so that might be in that video. But I know a lot of people have read this book because it is very recent release and they have loved it, so I'm very, very intrigued by it. Question 8 is, go to the acknowledgements and then find a book written by an author with the same/similar name as someone mentioned. I've done this before on quite a few times. There hasn't been like acknowledgements, so I'm like, what am I meant to do when there's no acknowledgements? Is there going to be I'm hoping, I'm praying. Oh, what was that? I think that was just, it's really hard because I don't want to damage this book. Yes, there is acknowledgements. Okay, let me have a little look through and see what I can come up with. We've got someone called John Owen. We have got someone called Whitney Ross. We've got someone called Britt. We've got someone called Nadia. Heather. Mary. Okay, I think I've already got one. Someone with the name Heather, so let me go get that book. So I have chosen Don't Call Me Yours by Heather Garvin, and this is like a college romance, and he's like a almost rock star, you could say, and I absolutely love this book. I gave this one a 4.5, and it's like a duet, and the second one in the duet I gave a 5 stars. It was absolutely phenomenal, and if you haven't already, go read this because they are just everything to me, and I really need to do a reread so I can annotate them. Question 9 is, look at the cover and find a book with a similar looking cover. Okay, so we've got someone with a guitar. It's a dark blue cover, and yeah, that is pretty much it with white writing. So let me go see what I have. I have a feeling that I've already done this combination before, because when I went to pick up this book I was like, that is vaguely similar, but I'm going to do it anyway. And the book that is sort of similar to this is Heartless by Elsie Silver, because even though it doesn't have two people, it's like a bluey cover and it does have like a guitar on the front. So the 10th and final question is, add your birth month and day together and turn to that page and find a book with that word in the title. Okay, so my birth month is February. I was born on the 24th, so it is 26. So you go to page 26 and then read the first word, and hopefully it'll be in a book, but it never usually is. So it's usually like a sentence or two until I find a word that has that word in the title of a book. Okay, so about her, really, all I know is that she won't be good enough to take care of Luke. I don't think I'm gonna find anything with that in the title. Let me read the next sentence as well. She's nothing like the uninterested, responsible, asexual nun who also wants to do fun things with an active little boy I've had in mind for the job. I don't know if that made any sense to me. Well, to me it didn't make any sense when I read that, but let me have a browse of my like TBR to see if I can find anything with any of these sort of words in. So that was a lot quicker than it usually takes, because I went with the word of. That's a very easy word to find, but I was like, keep it easy and simple, because these are always, I find, quite impossible to find a book that has a word in the title. So the book I have chosen to read is Terms of Will by Jessa Hastings, and I am very, very excited. I know a lot of people like this. I've seen a lot of people crying about this book. I know nothing about this book, so I'm going in quite blind, but just the cover is beautiful and the end papers are stunning. Let me show you. Oh, look at that. So I have no, like I said, no clue of what it is, and I kind of just want to go into this blind, like I do with most books I read. Do you know what I also just realised? I've got my Magnolia Parks jumper on, so maybe it was just kind of a sign I was going to pick this book up, because Magnolia Parks is written by Jessa Hastings as well. That must have been a sign, but anyway, let's just get on with reading the book. So I'm now halfway through this book. I am on just about to start chapter 31 and I am really liking it. This book basically follows Georgia, and Georgia has been living in England for quite a long time. When she was like a teenager, her parents sent her to boarding school in the UK, and she's been there pretty much ever since, because she doesn't really get along with her like parents and her two older siblings. She gets along with her older sibling that's the youngest out of all the older ones, but everyone else she doesn't get along with, especially because of how strict they are and how just they don't like certain things, and she doesn't agree with their like how they see things and what they believe in sort of way. And then one day Georgie keeps getting phone calls from her sister and she's like, I'm not answering them, and then finally she just gets a text from her older sister that says, your dad's dead. So basically she has to go back to the US, somewhere in, where is it? I can't think of what state it is in. Does it say South Carolina? She goes back to South Carolina for the funeral and spend a couple of days there. Her brother that she gets along with has been living in LA and he has a few issues, so he brings a sponsor with him to the like funeral wake sort of time, and him and Georgia kind of hit it off. His name's Sam, and this book is really good. I'm loving it. I really like Sam, I really like Georgia. One thing I will say, this does have quite a bit about, I guess, religion. It's not very heavy, but some parts will just quite go into it, and I'm all for learning about religion. I'm not any sort of religion, so it's not bothering me, so maybe it might bother other people, that sort of thing, but it's interesting to read about and things like that, so I am enjoying it. I really like Georgia as a character. I think she's so strong. She doesn't take anything from anyone, especially her family. She always stands up to them. She always stands up for her brother Oliver, who's the one that she gets along with. And something, you kind of get a hint of things that's going on, the reason why she got kicked out and got sent to boarding school, but you don't get the actual full story until it all like blows up in the face, and Georgia kind of just blurts it out and just is like, I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to spoil it, but that I was shocked. I had tears in my eyes for that. It's just not a nice situation. And Sam, I just love so much. He's there for Georgia so much. He's always there to support her. One thing I will say, if you don't like instant love, you might not like this, because as soon as like Georgia sees Sam, she's like, oh my god, I really like him. So it is kind of instant love, but they don't really touch or do anything with their feelings until maybe 30-40% of the way through the book. I think it is, I can't remember exactly. I think it's more like 40% through the way of the book is when they start like acting on their feelings. So it's not like rushed, but as soon as like Georgia sees Sam, she's like, I'm attracted to him. So I don't know, it's kind of insta love, but not at the same time. And I read Never by Jessa Hastings, which is another book that she has published that's out of the Magnolia Parks like universe. And I actually DNF'd that book like 100 pages in because I just couldn't get into it. And I felt like it was just so different from the writing in Magnolia Parks. But I feel like this one is so much more like Magnolia Parks. It's given me that same feeling, like the way she's describing things in this book is just poetic. And I'm not going to say who, but somebody so far from the Magnolia Parks universe has been mentioned in this book. Not going to say who because it doesn't happen. I think it's literally just happened maybe a couple chapters before the one I'm on now, so it's very recently happened, but somebody gets brought up and it was very exciting to see. So I'm interested to see if it will get brought up, or anyone from the Magnolia Parks universe will get brought up again, because Georgia does like live in the UK, even though at the moment this book isn't taking place in the UK. She does live there, so she does maybe have some sort of connections to people, maybe, I don't know, but it's really good, really fun. This is like first person, but it's not dual POV, you only get Georgia's POV, so if you're a dual POV person, maybe you might not like this, but I'm liking it. I would like Sam's point of view, but it's still good, it's still enjoyable, it's still fun, and I am having a very good time while reading it. That is everything I'm feeling at the moment. I feel like roughly star rating wise, I want to say it's probably sitting at like a 4 stars, 3.75. It's in that sort of realm. So I'm now just going to come back once I finish this book with my final thoughts and my final star rating. So it's now the next morning and I literally woke up at like 4 AM just randomly, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to sit there and binge read it and finish it, and I literally did. And oh my god, this book was just got better and better. I think I'm going to end up giving it 5 stars because, I don't know, I was kind of nervous going into it because I don't know if I said this, but Never, which is the other book outside of the Magnolia Park series that she's written, and it's kind of like a fairy tale retelling, and I ended up DNFing that because I just couldn't get into it. It was like a soft DNF, so I might pick it back up, but I just couldn't get into it, so I was a bit like skeptical what this book is going to be like. And it was so much more like the Magnolia Parks series. Like, Jessa Hastings' writing is just so beautiful, so poetic. The way she just describes things in this book is just phenomenal. And Sam, is his name Penny? I think Sam, I'm going with Sam Penny, the MMC in this book. He is just everything. Like, I was down bad for him. Like, the way he was just there for Georgia, the way he stuck up for her, the way he defended her, just everything about that man. That is the standard you want. And I think I mentioned this already as well about a certain character from Magnolia Parks series being mentioned in this, and when I tell you when that happened, I did scream, because I don't think I said that in my halfway through check-in, but when this character got mentioned I was like, no way, because I kind of knew someone was going to get mentioned because I have seen other people talk about it, but it didn't really like cross my mind when I was actually picking it up reading it, but I subconsciously knew. And when it happened, I was like, oh my god, I screamed. I was smiling. They only get mentioned once, this character, but the fact they're kind of almost interconnected in a way, but they're not really interconnected at the same time, because they have maybe characters that could cross over, because like I said, Georgia lives in basically London, so they might somehow know each other, but only one character ever gets mentioned from the Magnolia Parks series in this once, like just before halfway through. And the way this book ended for me, it was just such the perfect ending to everything that happened, all the things that were going on with like Georgia and her family and how everything got resolved in the epilogue. It was just so beautiful, and I was actually crying happy tears by the end of the epilogue because it was just so amazing, and every character basically got what they deserved in the end, I think, because some of Georgia's siblings, not very nice, let me just tell you that, but this book was so good. So if you're contemplating on reading this book, because maybe you've read Never by Jessa Hastings and you didn't like it, but you've read Magnolia Park series by Jessa Hastings and you loved it, I would say give this one a go, because this feels more like Magnolia Park's sort of writing than Never did, because I felt like Never, to me, didn't really feel like it was Jessa Hastings, but this, oh, it was Jessa Hastings through and through. I feel like that's all I have to say about this book now. That's all my thoughts, my feelings. So I definitely would recommend this book if you haven't read it already, because it's phenomenal. But yeah, that's all I have to say. So that is everything for today's video. If you did like it, do give it a thumbs up, and in the description below there's going to be some links to all my other social medias, and I am a brand rep for a few brands, so if you want to check them out, I've got discount codes for them. One of them, let me get it, one of them is for bookshelf signs, and you can get custom ones, or you can get other ones that are like this, or even just like other little bits and bobs they have. So any of those sort of signs you see on my bookshelves, they're from that brand, and I get a 10% discount if you use code ED10, I believe. I'll put it up on the screen anyway. And I also have a discount code for Kindle charms, and this is one of them, and it's just so cute. It's a little flower, and that is all linked as well in the description. The discount code for the charms are, let me think, it's ED Charms 10, I want to say it is, but it'll be put on the screen and in the description as well, so if you'd like to check it out you can. If you haven't already, do click that subscribe button so you can see more videos from me, and I'll see you next time. Bye!